Hey there everyone, Cosplay Dude 637 here, and we are at it once again with another video. This time around, myself and Tai have joined forces and we are talking about 6 mutants we want to see in Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals has gotten some good mutant representation, but as X-Men fans, we feel there should be more. And in this video, we have both brought 3 mutants each to the table. We will also be discussing possibilities in game ability, whether they fall under either the Vanguard, Duelist, or Strategy classes that are in the game. The only rule is that they have to be mutants. With that being said, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss another video. And of course, let us know in the comments what mutants you think should join Marvel Rivals. And feel free to give us some examples of how they would play. Now, let's get into this.
Do you know what? Yeah, hell, I'll go first. Okay, so my first choice for Marvel Rivals character that I'd like to see, or mutant that I'd like to see in the game, is Nightcrawler. He is one of my favorite mutants of all time.
Oh my god, I'm so shocked.
They've already got Wolverine, and he's my go-to. But Nightcrawler, he would have to use his swords in some way, because he does wield swords, and of course his main form of travel would be teleportation. I think this would have to be limited in distance, so kind of similar to how Jeff the Shark can only go a certain distance underground. Iron Man's flight can only take him so far. The Thing's running can only take him so far. It'd be something similar to that. You kind of like point and shoot, and you could teleport, but you'd only travel a certain distance, just to make it work in the game. He'd be a duelist, and of course he'd have his 2 swords, should be close range. Trying to come up with like a long range attack, and the only thing that I could come up with, it wouldn't be long range in the sense of, Hawkeye or the Punisher or Rocket Raccoon, but it would give a distance attack, and that is to whip out his tail, because he obviously he can use his tail. He has used his tail in offensive ways, so he kind of like spin around, and his tail would like lash out, and of course it would have a distance that he could hit you with, but it just give him kind of like a mid-range-esque, like, long-range attack. I think he'd be really fun in the sense of crowd control, because if you're against maybe a Hawkeye or a Black Widow, the snipers, maybe you've got a decent Moon Knight hidden in the corner, Nightwing? Wrong universe!
Wow!
Nightcrawler could teleport around. I'm assuming, because we're talking about Marvel Rivals, there'd have to be a limit to how many times he would teleport before the cooldown. So I was thinking something on the lines of, I do not remember which character it is, but there is a character that has an ability that allows her to go forward, but I think it's Scarlet Witch. But there's 2 counters before it recharges. Like, it recharges after 1 use, but you can do it twice. So maybe Nightcrawler can teleport like 3 times, and once you use it once, the counter would start going up, but you can rapid fire like 3 times. You could use Nightcrawler to get some distance, close the distance up between the snipers, the Moon Knights, the Punishers that are on their turrets or something. If they manage to get away from you, you can use your tail attack. And then ultimate, honestly, the only thing I thought of, and I came up with such a good idea, and then I realized it's already in the fucking game. I came up with this, right, you're gonna know which character I'm talking about, but I came up with this really cool idea. I'm just gonna tell you my idea. He teleports rapidly in a circumference of an area, and he attacks everyone within this circle.
Oh, so Star-Lord.
No, Star-Lord's automatic rapid fire.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like Star-Lord's attacked me.
No, I was talking about Psylocke. Think of Psylocke.
Oh, yeah, okay. I gotcha.
I had this idea for like 3 days. I'm like, yes, I came up with such a good ultimate. And then I played Marvel Rivals and I got killed by Psylocke, and I was like, fuck, it's already in the game. So when it comes to ultimate, I don't have an ultimate move, because mine got taken by Psylocke. But yeah, that's how I kind of see Nightcrawler as a duelist in Marvel Rivals, and as a Nightcrawler enthusiast, I'd have to have my boy in there. with the accent talking to, like, Spider-Man. And when it comes to skins, if we could have, like, I know the live action versions of Nightcrawler one is actually loved, but having, like, the first one would be kind of cool. I need his X-Men Evolution skin, and he's also been Spider-Man. He's the unworthy Spider-Man. No, he Uncanny Spider-Man. He's the Uncanny Spider-Man in a set of comic books. So giving him his Spider-Man suit would be kind of funny.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just for shits and giggles, and I'd love to see what Marvel Rivals do with Nightcrawler as well, because obviously Marvel Rivals is its own lore, it's its own universes. So kind of seeing what they do with Nightcrawler would be kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. I when you were talking about it, I could see him more being like similar to like Doctor Strange, where you have to set your destination. You know what I mean? Like Doctor Strange does the portal.
Okay, so you kind of like aim it around the map, and then when you click a location, you teleport there.
Yeah.
Okay, I see how. Yeah, that
But
could work.
yeah, but that could also cause continuity errors because Nightcrawler has to see where he's gone or have seen it. So I don't know. It was your idea, so
Yeah, but that's the whole point. We're backing and forth with it. You can,
yeah.
you can go.
All right. So my first one, I'm gonna throw Ty off by going with this one first. Is gonna be Armor. I don't remember her real name. Crap. I think it's Himiko. I could be wrong. Are we both doing the same thing?
Are we both googling armor? Yes, I think so.
Yes.
My phone doesn't want to work
Hizuko.
right now.
Hizuko. Her name
You were
is
close.
Hizuko.
You were close.
I was close. Yeah, I was close. Her name is Hizuko. Her power is to create a sort of a spiritual armor around her. According to her belief system, because she is Japanese, it's her ancestors guarding her. It's actually kind of like a psychic armor that is red, and it can grow and shrink in size. So I think she'd make an amazing tank, especially just being able to bowl through people. And I could totally see her ultimate being her growing to her massivest size and just punching the ground, like going completely Ben Grimm on it.
Yeah, definitely with the it'd be really funny if they did, like, she goes into her really big armor. It'd be just so funny if she just stomps on people.
Yeah, just like holy Megazord monster stomping around the freaking map.
So you know how Ben Grimm's ultimate, he actually stuns people, and like
Yeah.
they all kind of stand there holding their head. It'd be really funny if her ultimate, you actually get like squashed into the ground, like you're stunned for a couple seconds, but you're flat on the ground. That would just be really funny to do.
Either that or like your head stuck out of the ground for a few seconds, like
Yeah,
you pounded down.
yeah, you look like a whack-a-mole.
That would be pretty darn cool. But yeah, I think armor would make an amazing tank. Plus, like we've said a few times, we need more female representation in this game, and she's just a badass. For skins, I could see so many possibilities because she's an X-Men, so you could see her in an X-Men uniform. I think she's even been part of X Factor a couple times. You could see her in like Chinese school uniforms, and I know a lot of people would love that.
Yeah, there's definitely a few, because there's a I don't know which comic book one it is, but they go to a gala at some point that a few of the X-Men members are on a mission, Hellfire Gala or something. She wears this like black dress, but she's got like this golden armor, shoulder pad and wrist gauntlet on one arm, and then the other sleeve is actually connected to the dress, and like that'd be kind of cool to see in the middle of her armor suit, that sort of thing.
Hey, hold on, dude. I'm gonna send you a link I just found. You gotta check it out while we're talking about her. Yeah, where's General? There it is.
Why am I?
Because we're talking about skins, and
All right, hang on. Discord doesn't like me clicking on links. 1 second, it's loading. Yes, I give my consent. Jesus Christ, shut up, PC.
Oh my god, they have a
right.
Sailor Moon like one.
Oh, these are kind of cool. Yeah, I can totally see this kind of working.
Yeah, I could so see these being skins in the game. You might have to save a couple of these and put them in the video, dude, so people know what we're looking at.
Oh yeah, definitely. See, the way that I would do one of her abilities, because obviously each character's got like a handful of abilities, is it'd be kind of cool if, because obviously she's a tank, and tanks are mostly about either crowd control or like armoring themselves, defending themselves. They're brute characters, so it'd be kind of cool if she had this ability where, like, visibly she creates armor plates that attach onto her suit, like mold into her suit, her exoskeleton. Like, she makes more, and that buffs your armor for a little bit, but visually you actually see her make armor plates that fold into her armor suit. That'd be really cool to see. It could be a couple of seconds. Obviously, you're not asking for like an hour-long montage or anything, but it'd just be really cool to have like these armor plates that fold into her exoskeleton, and that ability gives you, I don't know, let's say an extra 100 armor or something.
Yeah. And I was looking at a couple other things. She can actually make like blades from the construct too, so she could actually like have claws, like Wolverine claws and stuff like that. So that would be an awesome ability to do too.
Oh, that would be kind of cool. She has an ability where you trigger it, and for a short period of time, she makes the claws, and that changes your attack for X amount of seconds. That'd be kind of neat to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so my next one, I'm quite surprised he didn't get added, and now that we have Human Torch, I really want this character added, and that is, of course, the coldest man in the X-Men. I've gone with Iceman, and I know that's really, really obvious, but come on, man, why isn't Bobby in this game already? So, like, obviously we already have a nice character being Luna, but she is a strategist, so I would put Bobby in the duelist section. I kind of went with 2 duelists here. He would be very similar in the sense of he'd have ice shards that he can throw, but I want to give him an ice blast that won't freeze people, because we don't have any abilities like that in our rivals, but we do have abilities that slow players down. So I want to really focus on that, where it's kind of similar to Iron Man's Unibeam, because he's got his blast and then he's got his Unibeam. Kind of give Iceman something similar, but his blast slows people down, so you could really be, the counter attack for Iron Fists, for Wolverines, of Captain America's, Spider-Man's. Be their nightmare, be the person that can slow them down, cause some issues. I'd also like to implement an ice mine of some kind, so like he freezes the ground, kind of similar to Penny's mines, and if someone steps on them, they're stunned for a couple seconds, but in animation sense, visually sense, they get frozen for a couple seconds, which I think would be kind of cool. And then Ultimate, I did come up with something. So Iceman can literally freeze molecules. He can literally freeze an entire room solid. I want to do that. I want to have, so you'd have a circle kind of similar to like Moon Knight, for example, or Thor, and whoever's caught in that circle freezes entirely, and obviously gets dealt damage, and then they're frozen for a couple seconds, allowing your teammates to also hurt them and things, but he freezes that circumference completely solid in ice, because obviously Iceman can do that. Skin wise, there's fucking loads for Iceman.
Oh god, yes.
You like the one I'd want more than anything is the original first appearance of Iceman, where he looks like a fucking snowman. I need that skin. That would be so goddamn good.
So First Class.
Yeah.
X-Men First Class, because let's get this straight, people on the internet. The first class that you meet in the movies is not the actual first class.
True.
I get so annoyed with people. So you want his first class uniform, which that would be cool. I could see that. That would be hilarious, actually. If they didn't do that, that would just be a pity. A complete and utter pity.
But like the conversations you'd have, like Johnny, and things. I saw someone on TikTok, kind of make up a conversation in Marvel Rivals, and he used the line of going, Iceman says, "Sorry, Johnny, I'm actually the coolest kid in town," and things like this, like absolute cheesy motherfucking lines. It'd be so good just to have him quip with like Wolverine talking to Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe. Johnny, Peter, and Bobby are actually all really good friends, so it's really cool to see them all bantering and things. It'd just be like, it'd be really cool.
It's the dad joke. It's the dad joke. It's the dad joke of the day.
Really cool, he says. Oh,
Yes.
good lord. Oh, good lord. Okay, so my go now?
Yes.
Alright, so next up, I chose another tank, but you will not be surprised by this choice, because I chose Anna Marie Darkholme, better known as the Rogue. I absolutely love Rogue because of who my favorite character in all of Marvel is, and I just think she'd make an awesome tank. Her ability, I could see her abilities, one of them definitely being to drain. So she touches you or she grabs a hold of you. I know in past video games she's done like a kissing motion to you, and then she has your powers for a set amount of time. I think that would be amazing. Plus, she's a tank, so she automatically has super strength, the ability to fly. For her ultimate, I could see her doing something like she's done in the series, where she grabs a hold of you, kisses you, flies you up, and just lets you fall.
Which then could also do splash damage to anyone that's in like the vicinity as well.
Yeah. I just think that she would be so amazing. And again, like you said, for Iceman, there are so many skins that you could use on her. She has so many different forms, from her first appearance as a member of the Brotherhood to, her wearing Gambit's trench coat. There's so much you could do.
See, one ability that I think would be kind of cool for Rogue, you know how Wolverine can dive at an opponent, and if he does hit them, it's a 50-50 chance you can miss. But if you do hit them, he can do like an obscene amount of damage. Kind of give Rogue something similar where she can fly at someone. If she does hit someone, she holds on to them for a couple of seconds. Now, the person could break out if they like wiggle their analog stick enough or something, but whilst she's holding on to this specific person, their life is just slowly going down, just depleting, and she's just holding on to them.
So they wiggle their stick and they can get away from her, huh?
Yep.
Sorry. But yeah, definitely could see that. And like I said, I need my Rogue, so.
I think she'd need a ground pound of some kind. Just the ability to, like, maybe if, like, she's in the air, because like you said, we need more female representation, but the only tank we have, and he doesn't even fly, he floats, but we don't have, which is Doctor Strange, we don't have a tank that can fully fly, so that would mix it up a bit as well, because all our flyers are duelists, so it'd be nice to mix that up. But maybe like if she's in the air, to get back to the ground is an offensive attack where she just drops and it smashes the ground, because she's done that in the cartoons, she's done that in the comic. It's like one of her like signature moves, just to drop and smack the floor. Like I need that. That's such a Rogue thing to do. So like that'd be like a really cool transition, is if you all want to go from air to ground, which again we don't have a flying character who walks. All the flying characters stay flying. So it would be nice to mix that up too, having a character that can do both. But if you're going from air to ground, it's an attack. Like, you actually give it a small radius, don't make it OP, obviously. But just like, if an opponent is caught in that, they lose some health, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree fully, completely. So, who's your next character, my good sir?
Okay, so last but not least, I want to say strategist, but I don't know if it'd work. And this is the only character I'm not 100% sold on what category out of the three would work. And that is Jean Grey and the Phoenix. I want to do a cloak and dagger type scenario where Jean plays in the sense of, she's telepathic, telekinetic, she can move things with her mind, there's certain games, the Lego games that did it where she has these, like, telekinetic blasts that she can do, give her that sort of stuff, make it so she runs around, and then you press a button very similar to Cloak and Dagger where a phoenix, an actual flaming bird will circle around her, phase into her, and then she takes flight. And the phoenix then takes over. And then you play as the phoenix. And the phoenix is only flying. I want to make sure there's a difference. I know Jean can fly, technically, but it's a game. We kind of have to make game logic here. So game logic-wise, Jean's on the ground, the phoenix flies. And the phoenix, obviously, is all phoenix force, devastating attacks. She's aerial, so obviously she'd be very good at countering Iron Man, Johnny Storm. But then, as the Phoenix, because she's in the air, she's now, Hawkeye could take her out of the sky. Black Widow could take her out of the sky, things like that. And this is where I'm kind of stuck, because if I make her a strategist, which I didn't want all three duelists, but if I have to, that's fine. If she's a strategist, she could, the Phoenix Force has healed people in the past. We have Loki as a strategist, for crying out loud, and he's a straight up mischief, he's a villain. It makes sense of that. So I don't know how I'd play, Dagger.
Well, you're going off the sense of Cloak and Dagger. Jean Grey could be the healer, like Dagger is, whereas Cloak doesn't actually heal; he just attacks. So the Phoenix could, be the attacking force.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do, but in my head, that is literally Cloak and Dagger. But
but come on, there's going to be eventually there's going to start being similarities because all these powers we're going to start getting similar people.
Yeah, that's very true. That's why I said that, I'm not 100% sold on strategist, but in my head, it just works. It just works. She is the mother hen a lot of the time. If it's not Storm, it's Jean, let's be honest. I
could see so many good conversations between Jean and Storm in the waiting rooms. I could see so many conversations.
Absolutely. And if we do include all of the X-Men, the mutants that we mentioned, it'd be really funny if, they talk about, how Iceman's gone around and froze this person by accident, or, hey, did you see that, Bobby shook hands with Venom and froze him solid, and stuff like this. Talk about Wolverine just absolutely clawing the hell out of Iron Fist by accident, and, little things like that. They're comparing notes with all the mutants in the game.
So, I got two questions for you. One, do you think the Phoenix Force should have a time limit? Because it's so powerful. I'm on the fence of yes, but what do you think?
Yeah, I'd say give it a time limit, but I don't want to make it so the cooldown is so high, because Doctor Strange's portals is 3 minutes long before you can use another portal, because obviously the developers don't want you to better spam portals everywhere. So as long as the cooldown is at a reasonable time, a minute, maybe minute and a half, that's fine, and then as long as the Phoenix Force is actually, in a way, the countdown is justified. The Phoenix Force is that good, that's why you have a countdown. As long as it's justified, then yeah, 100% agree. Yeah, making it timer, that would be very interesting, because, in Marvel lore as well, the Phoenix, being the embodiment of the Phoenix Force, is not a good thing. You don't want to be the embodiment of the Phoenix Force. I can see you shaking your head. You're agreeing with me. So
no.
Making it a time limit is actually a very good idea.
Okay, and then my second question, it goes to skins. Would we get the Black Queen corset skin?
Well, I'm sorry, they gave Sue Storm her fucking whatever it's called, that gimp outfit. So they kind of have to by this point.
I mean, come on, Jean Grey as the Black Queen, freaking hot.
Hot mama.
Literally.
But yeah, there you go. That's my three.
Okay, so I saved my best for last, and it's going to be surprise to no one. That I chose Gambit. Remy LeBeau, the master thief of the X-Men. I feel like he'd be a duelist because he has his staff for attacks and his cards. I feel like the cards should be limited, not so much as powerfulness, but how far he can throw them, because they are just playing cards of kinetic energy. But I do think his up-close attack of the staff should be a little bit stronger, because if you look at like Hawkeye, who has the up-close attack of his sword, it doesn't really, do as much damage. It just kind of knocks him back. But I think in Gambit's case, his staff should be able to do a good amount of damage. And I immediately thought of his ultimate when we was presented with this question of the famous 52 card pickup. Just him taking cards, flicking them through his fingers, and a massive explosion falling down on people.
Yeah, no, I see that. That's absolute awesome. 52 card pin, that is so good. See, the thing is with the bow staff as well is we have characters like that already. Black Widow and Moon Knight, they're both they both have melee attacks. Black Widow's is a bit more easier to use than Moon Knight's, but they both use dual sticks or shrimp sticks, however you want to label them. And with Black Widow, because it's her second weapon, it actually does a decent amount of damage if you're able to hit them. So with Gambit, having the ability to throw your cards but then also pull out your staff, I see that working. With an ability I thought of for Gambit, is he could always charge up the staff and then slam it, which would hurt people but launch him into the air.
Yeah, I concur with that. That'd be really cool.
So, it would give you distance, but damage. Like, let's say an Iron Fist is just giving you an absolute nightmare of a time. Pop that, you give him, some damage, but you get yourself away from him at the same time, and then maybe you can hit him with your cards or something. So that'd be a decent maneuver, but also push him away.
Yeah, and I was just thinking that a cool thing would be too if you have a rogue on the team, that they have a dual attack where she can grab onto you and take your power for a short time, and then both of you do a throwing attack or do 52 card pickup.
Going back to Rogue a second, you know how the Thing and the Hulk can pick up Wolverine?
Yes.
We need Rogue
to be able to do that too. Here you go.
We need to have Rogue just carry a Wolverine.
I mean, she could.
But yeah, Gambit totally works. I'm assuming you have him as a duelist.
Yeah, that's what I said. I did say that.
Yeah, because what you said about card with range, yeah, that makes sense. It'd be really cool to reload. He picks up his deck of cards, and when people when they extend one hand and they got all the cards and they shuffle that way. Yeah, that's his reload.
That would be cool. I could totally see that being a thing.
But yeah, Gambit totally works, 110%. I think he's the one out of all of them that works the most. Out of all the ones we said, Gambit is the one that would make the most sense.
I would love to see him. That's for dang sure. I would love to see some more mutant X-Men representation other than just Storm and Wolverine.
And there we have it, folks. We have 6 mutants we would like to see in the game, specifically X-Men characters. If you guys want to see a Brotherhood version of this, a Brotherhood edition, then do let us know. Maybe me and Cosplay Dude can do a Brotherhood edition to this specific video. That being said, if you want to see more of the gameplay that was in this video, do check out Tai Tiger Online and Tai Tiger Broadcasting. Tai Tiger Broadcasting is the live streaming channel where I live stream Marvel Rivals every weekend, and Cosplay Dude 67 also games with me, so you can hear us bantering with some of our friends. Now, of course, make sure you check out the 3 main podcasts that are linked. There are multiple podcasts linked to the channel, but do make sure you check out Nerds Through Comics, full comic book adaptations into audio dramas by Mark the Cornish Ranger. Neek Talks is a podcast with Cosplay 267, Willie, and his son Xander. And then my podcast is the Tiger Nexus podcast, so do make sure you check out that. Of course, check out the If You Give a Dad a podcast, which is hosted by one of our council members, Jared, and check out the Author's Crown YouTube channel for more horror and scary audio dramas created by our other council member, A Crown. Check out the Zero to Hero podcast. Our background for the Chibis is actually Billy's collection from the Zero to Hero podcast, and make sure you check out that podcast. Billy and Jim tune in each week and geek out about lots of different types of stuff. Of course, subscribe, and we shall see you guys next week.